Alright, let's get into it. This video is going to rub some people the wrong way, and I know that going in, but I have to say it the way I am saying it, because if I soften it up, you won't feel the weight of what I am about to tell you. So here it is. The people who are going to get upset about what I am about to say are usually the ones who have not really grown since they were 20 or 21. They are stuck in this loop where the highlights of their week are still the same things they were doing 5 years ago. And look, I get it because I was there. I was that guy. I was the guy who thought going out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and recovering on Sunday was just what life was supposed to be. I thought having a good time meant I was winning at life. But here's the thing. You have two real options in your 20s. Option 1 is you use these years to become the person you are supposed to become. Option 2 is you repeat the same 6 months over and over until you wake up and realize a decade flew by and you are standing in the exact same spot. But now you are tired and you have less energy and the window is closing. Most people plateau around 23. I saw it happen to my friends, and I almost let it happen to me. You turn 20, and suddenly you can do all this stuff you could not do before. You can go to bars, you can go to clubs, you can stay out all night, you can spend money you do not have on things you do not need, and those experiences feel incredible because they are new. But here's the problem. Those experiences should be the lowest peaks of your entire life. They should be the baseline. But most people register them as the peak. They think this is it, this is the good life, and then they spend the next 10 years trying to recreate that same feeling over and over again. They chase the euphoria, they confuse excitement with happiness, and when they are not chasing that high, they feel empty. So what do? They fill the void with more shallow stuff, more parties, more Netflix, more scrolling, more video games, and eventually that becomes your identity. It becomes second nature. You stop thinking about it, you just do it, and that is the most dangerous place to be because you do not even realize you are trapped until you try to get out. I remember sitting on my couch at 24 thinking about how my weeks all looked the same. Wake up, go to a job I did not care about, come home exhausted, order food because I was too tired to cook, scroll my phone for 2 hours, go to bed, repeat, and on the weekends I would go out and spend money. I did not have to feel something different for a few hours. And then Monday would come and I would do it all over again. That is the loop. That is the trap. And the scary part is when you try to tell these people, hey, what are you actually doing with your life? They look at you like you are crazy. They say things like, I am just living life, man, and they say it with so much confidence, but they have not thought about where that path leads. They have not considered that there is no such thing as staying the same. You either get better or you get worse. There is no middle ground, and the getting worse part does not show up right away. It creeps up on you. It shows up 5 years later when you are 30 and your body hurts and your bank account is empty and your friends are moving forward and you are still having the same conversations you had at 22. So I want to give you 3 traps to avoid and 3 things to actually do because I have been in that hole. I am not talking down to you from some high horse. I am talking to you as a guy who dug himself out and wants to show you the rope. My life is not perfect now, but it is substantially better than it was 3 years ago. And that is because I made a decision to stop treating my 20s like the main event and start treating them like the tutorial phase. Because that is what they are. Your 20s are not the main game, they are the preparation. They are the time to build the foundation so that when your 30s hit, you are not starting from zero. Trap number 1, do not listen to anyone who does not have the life you want. This sounds obvious, but it is harder to practice than you think because the people who do not have the life you want are everywhere. They are your parents, they are your friends, they are your coworkers, they are people on the internet who have opinions about everything. And they all have advice for you. They all know what is best for you. But the truth is the people who have the life you want are less than 1% of the population. They are rare. The other 99% are just talking. They are projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. They will tell you to be realistic. They will tell you to get a stable job. They will tell you to save your money and invest in a 401k and work for 40 years until you retire. And they say all of this with good intentions, but good intentions do not make good advice. These people do not know what is possible because they never tried to find out. They settled, and now they need you to settle too, because if you do something great, it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to look at their own choices. So my advice is simple. Practice deliberate ignorance. Hear what they have to say if you want, but do not let it in. Do your own research. Go find the 1% of people who have the life you actually want. Listen to them, study them, take pieces of their advice, and experiment with it. Do not take it as law, but treat it as a starting point. And then through trial and error, you turn it into your own path. Trap number 2, get your taste of distractions fast. Look, I am not here to tell you to stop partying or stop having fun. I am not your dad. And honestly, the people who tell you to cut out all fun are usually miserable themselves. But here's what I will say. Most people treat their youth like currency. They spend it, they burn through their time and energy on things that do not build anything. And the problem is not the partying itself. The problem is that it destroys the 3 things that make being young so powerful. You have time, you have energy, you have focus, and those 3 things together are incredibly valuable if you use them right. But if you spend them on shallow stuff, you wake up at 30 with none of them left and nothing to show for it. When I was in college, I was not perfect. I partied. I made dumb decisions. I spent money I did not have, but the difference was I always had something I was working on in the background. I did not know exactly what I was doing, but I was always tinkering with something. I was researching business ideas. I was trying to get healthier. I was learning about mindset and psychology. I was always into self-improvement before it became this cheesy thing on social media. I just knew deep down that I did not want to end up overweight, broke, and unhappy, so I set aside time every day, even if it was just an hour to work on something that would buy my freedom later. Most of those things failed. I tried a few business ideas that went nowhere. I tried different side hustles that did not work. But here's the thing, when you actually try something in reality, that is when you learn. Failure teaches you way more than success ever will, and if you keep trying and keep failing, you stack skills, and eventually all those pieces come together and something works. So no, I am not telling you to stop having fun, but I am telling you to get your taste of the distractions early. Recognize them for what they are. And the only way to recognize them as mistakes is to have a goal that you are actively working toward, because if you have no goal, then the partying is not a distraction. It is just your life. If you are not trying to build a business, then the hangovers do not cost you anything. If you are not trying to get in shape, then the junk food does not ruin your progress. The distractions only become distractions when you have something meaningful to lose. So find something meaningful, start working toward it, and then let the distractions reveal themselves. Trap number 3, do everything in your power to not get a job. This one hits close to home for me because this is what actually changed my life. When I was around 15, I had this random thought that stuck with me. It was simple. If I get a job like most people, I will end up like most people, and I looked at most people's lives and I did not want that. So I made it a mission to avoid the traditional job path as much as possible. And here is why. A job takes a third of your time. That is insane. A third of your waking life gone doing something that someone else tells you to do, and not just that. Another third of your life is spent in a low energy state recovering from the work you hate. So really, you are giving up 2/3 of your life for a paycheck. And on top of that, you become what you focus on. If you spend 8 hours a day doing something you hate, you are going to become someone you hate. I saw it happen to me. When I was working as a web designer at a 9 to 5, I stopped going to the gym for the first time in years. I just did not have the energy or the will. I would get home and feel drained, and the last thing I wanted to do was work out or work on myself. I was just surviving. Now, I know not everyone can quit their job right now. I am not saying you should go homeless for your dreams. That is stupid. But what I am saying is if you are in your 20s and you have the ability to start something on the side, you need to do it. You need to start a business. Not because you are going to be a millionaire tomorrow, but because it is the fastest way to develop the skills that actually matter. Starting a business forces you to learn sales, marketing, product development, customer service, and mindset all at once. It compresses years of growth into months. And the beautiful thing is once you start, you realize how little competition there really is. I know it looks crowded out there. You scroll social media and you see everyone succeeding, but that is an illusion. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and maybe a few 100,000 successful online entrepreneurs. That is nothing. The echo chamber is tiny. The only people who succeed are the ones who do not care about the competition. They just go and grab their piece. Now, the 3 things you should do. Number 1, set goals that scare you, not goals that feel realistic, goals that make you uncomfortable, goals that your younger self would not even have the guts to dream about. When I look back at the last few years, I can barely believe how far I have come. I published 2 books. I built a business. I created an online presence that actually matters to people, and none of that would have happened if I had set small, safe goals. The problem is most people shoot down big goals before they even try. They call it shallow or materialistic. They say making money is evil or wanting more is greedy. But that is just an excuse to stay small. In my opinion, the deepest and most meaningful things in life come from the pursuit of things that seem shallow at first. You cannot reach the depths until you scratch the surface. You have to go after the money, the health, the skills before you can transcend them. And the energy you get from chasing a massive goal is unlike anything else. It is a cosmic pull. It is your calling. So here's what I want you to do. Grab a piece of paper, write at the top 10 goals, 10 years, then write down 10 goals that make you physically uncomfortable, 1 for each year, and then focus on 1 massive goal per year. Your mind expands to fill the goals you set. If you try to build $1 million business, you will take $1 million actions. If you try to build a $100 million business, you will take completely different actions, and you only have so much energy in a day, so aim higher. Number 2, make as much money as you can. I know this sounds greedy, but hear me out. Money is a tool. It is the most versatile tool humans have ever created. You can use it to buy freedom, to buy time, to buy experiences, to take care of the people you love, and most people have a terrible relationship with it. They were taught that money is evil or that wanting it is shallow, so they never learn how to earn it or manage it, and then they wonder why they are stressed all the time. Making money is a skill just like playing guitar or learning a language. The difference is that when you try to make money, your ego gets involved, your beliefs about yourself come up, you have to face rejection and failure and embarrassment, and that is exactly why it is so valuable. Entrepreneurship is a spiritual practice. It forces you to grow. It forces you to face your fears. It puts weight on the bar. When you are meditating in a quiet room, you are lifting a 5-pound dumbbell. When you are trying to build a business, you are bench pressing 300 pounds. So go make money, not because you are greedy, but because the process of making it will transform you into someone capable of handling bigger challenges. Number 3, self-actualize. This is the big one. If the overarching aim of your life is not to self-actualize, then it is to self-sabotage. Every action you take should align with the purpose of becoming the highest version of yourself. And if it does not, you need to ask yourself why you are doing it. Most people never think about the outcome of their actions. They are stuck in a myopic focus on short-term pleasure, and that slowly beats them down without them realizing it. Health problems pile up, their mind stops adapting, their finances fall apart, and one day they wake up in a body they hate with a life they never wanted. You need to train your mind to zoom out. You need to adopt the perspective of the highest version of yourself and consult with them before you make a decision. Ask yourself, who do I not want to become? What life do I not want to live? And then let those answers guide your choices. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to make conscious decisions. Most people never do. And if you simply do that, you will already be ahead. So that is it. 3 traps to avoid. 3 things to do. Your 20s are not the main event. They are the tutorial. Use them wisely, build the foundation, take the risks, make the mistakes, and set yourself up so that when your youth fades, your quality of life only keeps going up. I have been where you are. I crawled out, you can too. Peace.